Welcome to our Halloween special.
We are very excited to talk about the spooks.
And the kooks. Oh, Halloween, one of my favorite time of year.
It is a fun time of year, and you have been busy getting decorations.
I have.
You had sent me photos of like your little DIY ghosts and witches.
Yes.
And then I did. Where are your witches at? Because I saw your ghosts.
They're in my living room.
Oh,
I didn't put them out because so
I have to go
you have to go physically in my house to see my witches.
I'll go and
peek in the window. Please don't.
Yeah. I mean, it is that time of year.
I mean, I might call the cops on you.
But your ghosts are very cute. Every time I go up to the high school, I'm like, oh, I got to look at the ghosts.
I love them.
Adorable.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite? Why is Halloween your favorite part? Like, why is it your favorite part? I don't know why I said that, but why is it your favorite holiday?
I don't know. I just love Halloween.
You just love Halloween?
I like witches. I like, ghosts. I like dressing up.
Okay, yes.
I always, since I was little, and I always want to go to a Halloween
like a party,
a costume party.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I was say I did always love that kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
I think I liked more of the
getting the candy.
Yeah. But what I love about Halloween is at that start of like the holiday season,
right? Where
I'm like, ooh, I get to like decorate and get something different, and it's always kind of fun. So, do you watch scary movies?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know.
Still?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. I just watched one the other night. I think it's on Prime Video, I believe.
Okay.
And it's kind of fun because it's set today, but they go like there's like I don't want to give it anything away, but they go back in time as well.
Okay.
Into the 80s. So
is it a 3-part?
It's just a movie.
Oh, okay.
And so it's done within I think 90 minutes maybe. It was a pretty short movie.
Oh, I'll have to...
I forget what it's called. It's like something. There's Killer is in the title. But I can never remember what the Totally Killer. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay. We have that on our to watch list.
Okay.
Yes.
So I watched it by myself, and then I was like, oh, Tim might have wanted to watch this. He might have liked this.
We are actually watching right now Lost Boys.
Are you?
We split it into 2 because
I
have to watch it, some of it one night because I can't get through the whole thing before I fall asleep.
Okay.
So we split that up and we started Lost Boys last night.
Nice.
So we tried to watch.
That's the one with Corey
Haim and both of the Corys.
Both the Corys.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of Corey Feldman on TikTok because he's been on he's like on a concert tour and it's very interesting. That's all I have to say. And he sings that song from Lost Boys.
Does he?
That thou shalt
yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't sing it like that. He's like thou it's interesting.
Is he coming anywhere close to us?
I don't know. I've never looked because I honestly, there were people that were like, I think it was the person that had recorded this video, like this clip that I saw on TikTok. And they were like, I had to go. It was something I had to see.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know if he's
do you remember when he did a video or whatever with the angel and the devil and they were women? Do you remember that video?
I don't remember that.
Oh,
when was that around?
That was, I'd say a long time ago.
Okay.
Probably about 15, 20 years.
So
I don't know.
Definitely been trying to be a pop star.
Right.
And I don't think he's
gonna make it.
No. I saw a comment. Someone said something about his choreography and someone else wrote, they were like, that was choreographed. They didn't know that was actually something that was
a move
choreographed. They just thought he's just doing what he wants to do. Poor guy. But he's the Corey that's still alive. He is the Corey that's still alive. And he is in so many movies that I love as a kid and still love.
Yeah.
And he was a good actor. That's why I'm like, why are you not acting? Because he's really good. And I feel like he should do that. Like, I feel like that's maybe he just loves music and he wants to and go,
right.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Lost Boys, that's a good one though.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I have a story with that where, when I was younger, I was probably in like 6th grade and that was on TV. And I don't know if it was HBO or if it was like TNT. I don't remember, like one of those like channels. And I was upstairs in my room and I had one of Kirk's hand-me-down TV. So it was a black and white TV.
Okay.
And I was watching it, and then I don't remember what part it was, but it was when like the vampires were like, it was kind of like an attack. I don't know if that's really the word.
Right.
But there was like a screeching noise that came with it. But then I heard the screeching noise and then a crash outside. Like it all kind of, I was like,
went together. You didn't know what it was.
And there was a car accident at our, no one got hurt or anything like that. But yeah, there was a car accident at our intersection. I
thought you were going to say somebody was floating by your window.
Not that time.
No. Okay.
Yeah. No. I probably wouldn't be here anymore if that happened because I would have had a heart attack at 12. My computer was like, well, I'm going to be part of this
I'm going to ding.
Yes. We are watching another show right now, and I don't know why, but I can't remember what the heck that one. No, it's called something like House, the Fallen of the House of Usher or something like that. Something with the House of Usher, and it's a series.
Okay.
And I think that one's on Netflix, and that's really good too. It's creepy.
Yeah.
But I think you might like it. But what's your favorite? Like, okay, so Lost Boys. So that's probably one of your favorite like Halloween-ish movies?
No, that's one of Chuck's. I'd have to say. Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite Halloween movie would probably, I still love Charlie Brown. Halloween.
Yes.
I know that's
pumpkin.
That's not a scary movie, but I don't know what my favorite, probably Freddy. I liked Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
I did like those.
Yes.
Or Halloween.
Yeah. And I love the original Halloween.
I do too.
I'll watch some of the other ones as well. And I remember you and I went to
the Rob Zombie.
Yes.
The Rob Zombie Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that was a lot more gorier and crazier than the original
one.
And the original was it came out in 1978. And
Did
that
it?
was the year I was born. So it's, that's a great year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one with Jamie Lee Curtis, like I feel like that one is, and there was not, when you like look back at that, there isn't that much blood or gore, like you don't see too much.
No.
But it's just
it was the chasing of it, you're being chased. I hate that.
Yes. Or like when you would see her and she's like hiding behind a couch or something and looking.
Right.
And he's behind her. Yes.
Yeah.
It's that where you're like, look behind you. Look behind you.
That's the scary stuff.
Yes.
The stabbing and all that's not scary.
No.
It's, it's just there for, no.
Right. Like that's not what I'm going to like dream of, like have a nightmare about.
I'm going to dream about somebody watching me.
Yes. Yes.
Chasing me.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I do remember out of a scary movie that it had gore or blood in it that was scary, but then it's like, how is there that much blood in a person? Was not the original of Nightmare on Elm Street when Johnny Depp. Yes. And he goes, is it I think it's a waterbed.
Yes, it's a waterbed.
We'll talk about waterbed sometime too, because that was a weird thing that happened.
Right.
But yeah, when he gets like sucked in the waterbed and then all that blood explodes. I mean, that looked like
a volcano.
Yes.
Yes.
I just learned on TikTok again that the movie Scream, the original one, there were a bunch of like, I mean, there were some that you knew that there were like kind of like odes to different movies. But the one I didn't realize is, what's her name? Not Sydney, but the friend.
The one that gets smashed in the garage door? Okay.
Yes, her.
I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either. But she, at one point, I don't know if it's what scene, but she's wearing a jersey with a number, and I can't remember what the number is now. But that was an ode to Johnny Depp's character in that, and he's literally wearing that same, and it's kind of like a
crop top.
Like a crop.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, and it was an ode to that. And I was like, I never caught that.
No,
but I was like, that's a fun.
I like Scream too.
I do too.
I like
that. Was
the
a good
first one. I really liked.
Yeah. I loved that one because it had you laughed at it.
Yes.
But you were scared. You jumped, you scared, and you were trying to figure out who is the killer.
The murderer. Yep.
I felt like that one was really creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just we're gonna get slashed.
Right.
I think that's why the Nightmare on Elm Streets I love too, because they had to kind of be creative of how are you can't go to sleep.
Right. Jeez.
And then all the things, do you remember on Nightmare on Elm Street with the phone? She had a lips phone.
Oh, yes.
And then the tongue
comes out.
Yes.
Yep.
He's going to be her boyfriend.
Yep.
There were certain things in that movie that I don't think I noticed as much as a kid, but when I watch it as an adult, it's there are some things that's really weird.
Yeah.
Like the mom's character is very interesting, and I'm I want to know how they just made that,
right?
Why those choices,
and
how she put the bars on the windows and stuff. But just that mom's character was very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, those I love those kind of. Those old
ones,
yeah, or Poltergeist,
right? Poltergeist. That's probably one of my favorite
ones.
Yeah, I still am. I am scared of that movie.
Yes,
that's a scary one to me.
I do get the thing about that whole thing is you didn't move the bodies,
right?
Type thing, and I always think about stuff like that when you are somewhere and you're gonna if you're gonna dig, and I'm I hope they move the bodies.
Yeah, right. That's what I always say. I'm sometimes I'm oh, is our house haunted? And then I'm well, we have a basement. So they dug under.
Right.
But did they remove the bodies?
I know.
Were there bodies there and they removed them?
It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that. Those houses were all really nice houses. Why didn't they have basements? I mean, were they in California?
They were in California.
Is that where
I think that's where it was set.
Do you not have basements in California? It's not on a thing. I know in some places,
right?
That's
they don't know
thing, Florida and stuff. Don't do that. But I'm just thinking about that. I'm why didn't they have a basement?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have worked for the movie because then they
would have found the bodies.
Right.
They had to dig for the pool.
Right. Well, you would have thought that they would have told them don't dig for pools.
Right. Don't dig anywhere.
Don't dig. Yeah. Yeah.
We moved the headstones, but we didn't remove the bodies.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's and we talked about on the other episode that the TV would go out. When TV wasn't on all night, and then that's when she would hear.
That's when she would hear the people in the TV.
Yeah. And she'd tell them that they were here.
Yeah.
And in the second one, they were back.
Yeah.
And I feel no one listened to her.
I know. What was the third one? I don't even remember.
Was the third one they were
in a hotel?
Yes.
She went to live
her
with
aunts or something, and it was her cousin. It was an older cousin girl, and because I don't think the parents were in that one.
Nope, they weren't in that one.
Or the brother.
No, it was just her and the aunt and uncle and cousin.
Yeah. Why did she go live with them?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Probably because her parents thought she was crazy. They didn't want any more of that.
They were we can't.
They're we can't handle you anymore.
Yeah, we can't go through this again.
You're going to live with your aunt and uncle.
Yes.
They would take them. Why would they want her?
And I remember it was in that high rise.
Yes.
Very fancy
hotel. And
why were they in a hotel?
I think he ran the hotel.
Oh.
And the mirrors cracked.
Yes.
And then she would be running and there'd be different. She would be in different places.
Of her.
Yes.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't like that one, but that was kind of spooky.
That was spooky. Yeah. But it wasn't as good as the original.
No.
And I think there was things in the original that, like, you know, when Robbie would look out and he was scared of the tree. Like, I feel like kids, you would be scared. Like, if a tree made funny
Weird
things at night, and if it was hitting your window. And your imagination goes.
Right. I did tell Chuck we have a tree by our bedroom window.
Yeah.
That's getting to hang closer to the house. I said, once that branch hits that window, that tree is going. And he's like, what? I was like, poltergeist?
Yes. It's going to come and get us.
It's going to get us.
Yes.
And I'm on that side, and I don't want it grabbing me.
As long as you don't have any, like, clowns dolls in your room.
Right.
I don't even know why they had that clown doll in their room.
I know. He didn't like it to begin with. So why?
Remember, he would always
throw something over it, or I
would have thrown it out of the room.
Yeah.
Thrown it out the window. It would never.
Right.
Unless he was only scared of it at night.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe they never really say, did they? I don't think they did.
But you always knew he didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because he was always throwing a coat or
something over
or a
it.
blanket.
Yep.
And I feel like that was the reason why I really was not a fan of clowns.
I don't like clowns.
I don't really like clowns either. And I think that's
part of
probably part of it.
Especially when he gets under the bed and then drags him under the bed.
Yes. And then his like arm becomes really long
and wraps around his neck. And he's ripping the stuffing out of it, and it still isn't doing it.
Yes, and I feel like he's like, die.
Yeah, die. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. That one, when it's on, like sometimes because like now that it is October, there's certain channels that will have, like I'm like, ooh, what are they going to have on? That will be
on, yep.
And I can watch that. There's certain things that I won't watch where I'm like, it's kind of late. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. But are there any movies that you would, I used to do this all the time, and I know we do other certain things when we watch scary things, but would you ever watch something and have the remote in your hand? So if it was going to be like
scary, you could turn it.
Gory,
you could turn it. I think I did a few times, yeah.
I would do that with like stuff where I knew I was like, they're going to get like slashed. Right. And I was just like, nope, don't need to see that part.
Yeah.
I like the suspense of it happening.
Yeah. And then you'd turn it back after you knew it was over.
Yes. Yeah. But I know that when we go see movies that are scary, we do the exact same thing where we plug our ears. We still are watching what's happening on screen, but we can't hear it.
No.
So for some reason that makes it better.
Right. I don't know what it is. I don't know where we got that. I mean, I don't know what side of the family. Like, I don't know.
I don't either. And I don't know anyone else
that does it.
You're the only one that I know.
I think my mom sometimes does it.
Does she?
I don't know.
My mom would never even like watch those kind of movies. She'd be
she wouldn't do it. Like if something bad happens, I think she does it.
Oh,
if something.
Sure.
But she doesn't watch scary movies. Yeah. But like, I mean, that time when we were walking and that squirrel, did the squirrel get hit? And we both screamed and covered our ears.
Yes.
I don't remember.
One of us was driving.
Were we? No, we were walking.
No, we were walking.
We were walking.
That's right. That's right. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We did close our ears.
Yeah. Well, I get accused of closing my ears when I'm driving. If I'm.
Oh.
Chuck is like, put your hands on the wheel. I was like, oh my God.
Well, it's probably just a knee-jerk reaction.
It is.
Like, you don't even know you're actually doing it. You're just.
That's why it's like, I want to know what part of the family we like.
Get that from.
Who did it? Somebody would have had to have done it.
They had to.
It just wasn't.
The fact that we
us.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Must be. But yeah, I would do that and hold the I need to have the remote. Like, where is the remote so I can turn the channel? I feel like I don't do that now that we watch streaming things.
Right. No.
And I might just close my eyes or turn away.
Right.
But
yeah, what I do, I'll close my ears again and I'll tell Chuck, tell me when it's done.
When it's done. Yes. Yeah. I've done that. Yeah. I've done that too. Tell me when it's over.
Tell me when it's over. I'm sitting there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, is it done yet?
Yeah. And he's like, oh.
He's like, oh yeah, it was done.
It was done a while ago.
Yeah.
Do you like the Disney, like any of those kind of movies too? Like,
Hocus Pocus.
Yes, that's a good one.
I want to watch The Haunted Mansion.
I do too.
I haven't watched it yet. So
I want to watch that one too. I last year went to Disney, and that was the one, like I had never been to Disney World. And that was the ride that I was like,
you wanted to go on.
Do it.
Yeah.
And they were doing, I think they do it for months, but they were doing because it was in August, and they were having their like Halloween party. I think it was like Mickey's Halloween Spectacular or something like that.
I want to go to Disney now during Halloween.
You would love it. It's fun. Like it's a different time. Like you get to go in the park when everyone, like the park closes earlier, like at say 6 or something. And then that's when you're entering, or you could have been at the park.
Yeah.
But that's when you're entering for the Spooktacular or whatever it's called. And it's till like midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And they have different things. So then that Haunted Mansion, they had like an actor that was out there, like kind of was like a ghost and stuff. And I was like, is this always like that? And the person I was with had been too. And they were like, no. Yeah. But that was a fun ride.
Oh, that would be fun.
The only thing that was really fun, the scary part of that ride, and almost all of the Disney rides, is that they have like those walking things. You know how, not an escalator, but you know, like in like an airport. And you get on
or
the
just
walking.
go. Yeah.
They have those when you get on the damn ride. And I'm like, I'm going to fall. Like, I'm going to try to get on this thing and then
you're gonna,
biff it. And I'd watch older people doing it. And I was like, okay.
If they can do
it, you can do it. But I noticed that for some reason, the Haunted Mansion one, it went faster than any other ride that I went on. Yeah. But yeah, that was really fun. So I'm excited to see that movie.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I like any of those fun, like you said, like Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin, because that was a fun thing as a kid.
Yeah, you always knew, okay, Halloween's coming up when that was on.
Yes, and you wanted to make sure, like you looked in the TV guide to see when
or the
it was
newspaper
on.
To see when it was on.
Yes, because you couldn't be like, oh, it's on the streaming device.
Right.
Back then, it was going to be on
at a certain time, and that's it. It was like on one time.
Right.
Before Halloween. And that was it.
And now they sometimes will do that, like on Christmas. They might show it a couple of times in the season. But back then,
it
was
one time. And it seemed like, well, this is skipping to Christmas, but the Christmas shows too. There was only one time they would show, or maybe twice.
Yes.
Before, like right after Thanksgiving, and then right before Christmas, they would show them.
Yes, and that was the only place you could watch those.
Right,
was on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of Halloween and slasher and non-slasher. Family friendly.
Halloween. I like anything time. Halloween. I love taking my granddaughter out to, I love it when she dresses up and goes, as last year we had fun.
Yes.
And this year I think she's going to be Elsa.
Oh, fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We get her we're going to take her to the trunk or treats around town.
Oh, I love that they're doing that all in one
time. Yes.
Or day, night.
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a great idea for them to just do it all once. So
you don't have to dress them up again. And she's from out of town, so she doesn't have to come in multiple times or whatever.
Right. So, yeah. I love
that'll be fun.
The dressing up.
Right. I like to see everybody dressed up.
I do too. That's the only thing that, now that they have the trunk or treats and they here in Wahoo, they have the Boo and Wahoo, we don't
get as many kids.
So I don't get to see that many kids dressed up unless you're at one of those events. So I do kind of miss that because when we were kids, you didn't have those.
You didn't. No,
there was no Boo and Wahoo. There was no trunk or treats.
No,
you went old school,
house to house, starting when it got dark. When the porch light came on, when somebody's porch light came on, you were out.
Yes, and I remember, maybe tell me what you thought, but I felt like the side of town that was like the best place to like go for some reason at that time was down by like Hackberry. And all of those streets that led off of Hackberry.
That went east and west.
Yes, and you would just like go
street to street.
Yeah, and you would go one side of the street to the next side, and you just go down and then go to the next street.
Block.
Yes.
Yep.
And everyone would have their
porch light on.
I don't remember.
No, there wasn't very many.
Was somebody,
but there wasn't very many people that didn't have their porch lights on then.
And I feel like we would always kind of go there, And then you'd always have to go to your family,
Right.
wherever they were at. You would go there. And I can remember your grandma would always have candy, but then for special kids,
people,
they would get
popcorn balls.
Yes. And I was telling Tim about that, and he was like, I kind of want a popcorn ball.
Right. I miss popcorn balls.
I know. I don't think I've actually ever had one ever since I was a kid, since your grandma's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I
never knew. I don't know how to. I mean, I don't know how to make them like she made them.
No. And I know I wouldn't make them like she made them, so I'm like, I don't even try, because I'm going to be like, well, this ain't
this ain't the same thing.
Right.
You can buy them in packages, but they're not the same. You know, it's no.
Yeah, I loved those.
Yes, I always went and got popcorn balls.
Yes. And I don't even remember. I know, well, my great-grandma, she always had cookies.
Something for somebody in your family.
But she always had that normally. She'd always make sugar cookies, and they'd be in the cookie jar in the kitchen. And so it would always be like,
you just go get over there and get a cookie. Yeah.
So I feel like I probably got candy and then just went inside
and got a
cookie.
Right.
You know, obviously not every kid's going to go inside and get a cookie. Yeah. My grandma was very well known. She loved, and then she just had them at all times, but she would always give out and I don't know at the time that was a new thing, but she would do the Tootsie Roll suckers.
Okay.
And then that's what she would always give out.
Yeah.
And then it just became a thing that she always had a basket of those at year round. Mm-hmm. And then I think she still just always gave those out. But, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if she just really liked them or why. But I don't really remember. My mom never did anything like she would just get the candy.
Right.
I remember one year she did a thing where she put like 2 or 3 candies in a little bag.
Oh, and tied it to
make it like a little treat bag.
Yeah.
But she always liked to see the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of candy.
Yeah.
What was your favorite? Or what is your favorite?
What is my favorite? Probably, which is weird, because I would never like eat them normally, but I love those, like the mounds, like the coconut ones, and the Almond Joy. I was gonna say, and those ones with almonds.
With those almonds.
And then you can't go wrong with like a Reese's cup.
Oh,
I feel like. What about you?
I would say Twix. I like Twix.
Oh, I do like Twix.
And Snickers. You can't go wrong with the Snickers either, I don't think. Yeah. Or M&M's. But my favorite is peanut M&M's.
Okay.
I would,
So this is, you can tell. I always felt like with those, you only got like 3 things in those packages. So I was like, nope, I'll
take 3 more.
Yeah. Or I'll just be like, I'll just take the Snickers.
Yeah.
Or like, because I'm like, that's not enough.
Right.
And now in my big bag of candy.
That you literally walked around town. Sometimes you'd have to go home and dump it.
Yes.
If you had just a little, like a pumpkin or some kind of
decorative
bag.
Bag and not like a pillow bag.
Right. Not a pillow. I never had a pillow
sack.
No.
I don't think I ever did either, but
a pillow sack. Oh my God. Yeah. But I can remember or we're in the car and then having a grocery bag and dumping it all in there.
Yes.
And then going back out.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember at that time we could go out as friends. Like even when we were younger. Mm-hmm. Maybe parents would
they would go with, but they would
like wait for you. Because I can remember because we would go like up this way, then you would cross the street and go, and they'll be like, "I'll wait for you
here."
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Where now I wouldn't do that. You just don't.
You don't know.
You just don't know. I mean, even though back then we
didn't know either.
We didn't know, and remember we would have to like get our candy checked because there could have been a razor in there.
Yeah,
like we don't have to worry about
that.
We don't worry about that now. And did anyone ever have a razor in their candy?
I know. I don't.
Or was that just another thing?
Is that a thing to scare you?
Us? Kind of like,
I don't know, because you could take your candy up to the hospital and get it x-rayed.
Yes.
So something had to have, I mean, I would think.
Something happened, or it was just like one of those, what are those called? Like not a folklore.
Right. But, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like urban legend. Yeah. That's another good movie too.
Oh yeah.
There's an urban legend movie. But yeah, so I remember that, like
right.
having to make
you
sure.
Had to have, you checked your candy.
Right.
And it's like, they let us check our candy. What were we going to see?
I know. I know.
They just want to see what we all had so they can take it.
Yes. To be like, ooh.
I remember doing that with the girls. So I'd be like, let's see what you got. Okay. Well, we're going to sneak one out of this one. They always, I mean, a lot of the times they'd get the the normal size candy bars back when they were little and would go out. I don't ever remember getting a big candy bar from anybody. Do you?
I don't really remember that either.
No.
I don't. Mm-mm. Maybe we did, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember it. And now I think I bought some candy for the trick-or-treaters, and I think they're way smaller. The candy itself is small.
I think so too. It's like, more expensive.
And it is more expensive.
And then it is smaller compared to
what it used to be.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Did you like haunted houses?
No.
You like scary movies.
I like scary movies.
Because you're in your own house.
Don't like haunted houses.
Now, did you ever go to one? Okay.
I did.
You knew what I was going to ask.
The one downtown at the Civic Center I went.
Oh.
I also went to the one that was up at Wahoo State Bank back in the day. Oh. But I only got to the top of the stairs, and I had a freak out, and we had to leave.
Who are you with?
My mother.
Okay. So I feel like, were you like, yeah, I want to go
I was
and
little.
do it.
I wanted to do it.
And then you were
and
like,
then I
screw
chickened
this.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like haunted houses.
Yeah.
I never went with you guys in high school.
No.
You'd always be like, chicken. Or you'd call me, like, after it was done or whatever. And,
right, like, we're done.
Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not going.
No.
Nope.
I can see that where you were like, nope. Not gonna do it. Well, and back then, they could like grab you. They could grab your ankle. They could do all that. Like now, I mean, we had so many haunted houses in town.
Right.
And I think it's funny because it's not there I mean, it's still there, but it's not the First Congregational Church. But that was a church that I grew up going to. And they had a parsonage behind it. And for, I would say maybe, a good 2 to 4 years, something around there, they would have a haunted house. And there were other churches that did that as well. And I just think that's funny.
That a church.
Yeah. And they had that, and my whole family was like involved in it. Mm-hmm. My mom was like always dressed up as a pumpkin, and she was the one like kind of like taking the tickets.
Okay.
My dad even was involved, and he was like, I forget what the character's name was, but it was something on like not PBS, but like a local channel in Omaha, and there was like this scientist guy, and so he had like this like lab coat with a crazy wig.
Yeah.
My grandma was involved, like her and a couple of her friends from the church. They were like at the end, and they were in the kitchen, and they were witches.
Oh,
and they were doing like their brew, and they had their brew. Yes, and it was a big thing back then because they had that dry ice. Is it called dry ice? And so their brew was it was smoking. Yeah. But yeah, it is funny to me that it was in a church,
right?
Or it wasn't in a church, but a church was putting it on.
Right. A church was putting on,
and they had that one. It's not there anymore. That building isn't there. But the one that's across from like Woida's auto body.
Okay.
That there was a church there. They had one. And I remember helping with that one.
Okay.
And I remember there was 2 things I would do. Like one night I would either be the part of the girls from Nightmare on Elm Street, and I would be
the jump rope.
Yes.
I remember you did that. Yes.
And then there would be like, say the next night I would do they would have the exorcist room, and I would be behind like the dressers, and I would push the drawers out when it was going,
yeah.
And that was always fun too.
And how did you get involved in that? Do you know?
I don't remember. I don't know if it was maybe friends or somebody were like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
So, and I think I actually had more fun being part of it.
Right. That would
doing it. Yeah.
I would too. I would love, because you're dressing up and you're scaring people.
Yeah, you're not.
But then they would scare me probably when they screamed, and I would scream back. I'd be like, ah.
What was good about the two things that I got to do that was part of that is the jump rope girls were just at the beginning. So that was like the first thing people kind of saw. And we weren't, scaring them at all.
Right.
And then the thing with the Exorcist, I was behind something, so they couldn't, even
if I did get
scared, they couldn't see that I got scared of them screaming or whatever.
Right.
It was pretty sophisticated where they had like the doll in the bed and it was
turned its head.
It did, and it puked out of the I think someone was behind like with I think there was a line, like a tube, and then they was like pumping it.
Yep, and it was spitting out. Yeah. Another movie I thought of that I'm scared of is that Emily Rose. She's possessed. I don't know what it's called. Is it Possession of Emily Rose?
Something like that.
I do not like.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
You haven't?
No.
Oh.
I think that one is coming up all the time. Maybe on Hulu I see it now. Okay. And I was like,
that
is this new? And then I'm like, no, that's old.
Nope, it's old. Yeah. Oh, it's scary.
You know what movies I love are those Conjuring.
Oh, I won't watch that.
I love those. But I also love, because they're based on a real life couple and I've seen a lot of documentaries about them and the wife, and right now I can't think of their names. But the wife, before she had passed, like she did a lot of investigation stuff with this younger guy that I would watch on like the Travel Channel. So I got to know like who she was at that point, and then I kind of went down that spiral of like, who is this lady?
Right.
And then found out like her and her husband was like Warren and something. So it's based on like their what happened to them. Yeah. So that always is intriguing to me.
Right.
Like, this is based on, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's kind of what scares me. Is that
it's real?
Well, yeah. Or, it's somebody that says this happened to them. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yes, I know. I was just talking about this. So, I believe in all that stuff. I believe in ghosts. I believe, that stuff happens. And I love doing ghost tours. And I love all of that stuff.
We did a ghost tour.
We did do a ghost tour.
That one I don't know if I believe so much, but
yeah.
I mean, my thing was a spinning all the time, so it was either
really
haunted,
I don't think it ever spun.
Right? So it was either really haunted or those things didn't work.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know what was happening.
Right,
but those rods.
Right,
it was like rods.
It was rods with something that spun. On
they
top.
were like you held it, and then it was almost like a.
Like a triangle or something. Yeah.
No, that I didn't feel like we got anything on that one.
No, I didn't either.
One that I did that we didn't even realize that it was actually anything happened. I went to the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, and we went on the tour. Like it was like a night tour. Like I think it started like 10:30 or something like that, and they took us into, because there's different buildings.
Right.
They took us into the one, I don't know if it was called the Music Hall or something, but it was like an entertainment type building. And we went into like the green room where they would have been, the actors and performers would have been hanging out.
Okay.
And they had us like, not like, stand in a circle, but it was just how we were in the room.
Okay, yeah.
And they shut off the lights, and then they just had it be quiet. Like, you're just supposed to be quiet to see what's going on. Well, I'm like, okay, nothing's happening. But I kept seeing something like a light in the corner of my eye. And every time I'd turn, it was gone.
Okay.
And then I'd turn back, forward. And then it kept doing it. And I was like, what the heck? But I never said anything. I didn't even think anything of it. I thought there were mirrors in there because it was like a
theater
room dressing thing. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just seeing something reflecting. Well, the next day, my friend and I that I went with, we had shared a hotel room. We're both like laying in our beds, just like laying there talking about the tour. And I said, yeah, the only thing, I don't know why, but I kept seeing this green light. And she just like shot out of bed and she's like, where did you see the green light? And I was like, it was to the right of me. And every time I turned, it was gone. And she was like, holy shit. I kept seeing it to the left of me. And we were standing right next to each other. And so then we were like, like was somebody standing like in between us? Right. And we didn't know. And we didn't freak out because we both were like, we're not, it's nothing. So yeah, that's the only thing that feel like you've ever
felt like
yeah. But I love all that stuff. Ghost tours.
I like it too, but it still scares me.
It scares me a little bit. Though I feel like when we went on that tour, it was around this time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a Halloween type.
It was cold and
I remember that.
Yeah, it was really cold.
It was chilly, and it was like probably that year before COVID.
Yep, I think you're right.
Then you couldn't do any of that fun stuff.
Right.
So what was your favorite costume as a kid? Do you remember?
I don't remember what my favorite was. I don't even remember half the things I wore. You know what I mean?
I'm the same.
Just the ones I have pictures of.
Right.
And I was and I don't know if anybody else knows this, and I don't remember what they're called, but they were like blow-ups on your head.
And I have that.
You had that. I have a picture of that.
So do I.
And it was, and then like a vest that went over and told you what it was or something.
Yeah.
That's all it was, because I'm like in a sweatsuit and I just have this thing over me that it tells what this giant balloon blow up thing on my head is.
Yeah. And I don't know if they were like aliens or
I don't either. I don't know if they were spiders. I think mine was black and my sister's was maybe green or something. I don't know. I'll have to look at the picture again.
I think mine is green too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just a fad for that year to be like, this is what you want to be for Halloween.
Right.
I feel like there were cartoons. There were commercials.
Right. That showed
Halloween outfits. You don't do that now.
No. But you're like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
But then also, do you remember those masks? Like that kit that you used to get?
Yes.
And they were plastic and they used to dig into your skin.
Yes.
And then you wore and
there was that little slit
for your mouth and your eyes.
Yes.
And your nose. There were two little holes for your nose. And then it was like a plastic thing that went over you to say, to show what you were. And I think I was Strawberry Shortcake. I know I was Tinkerbell one time.
Oh.
So, but in those, I can remember going down, and this is what's funny. I can remember going down to the dime store.
Yes. And getting it. Oh, I probably got mine there too.
Right.
I remember those, and I don't remember anything that I was. I feel like I was probably Strawberry Shortcake as well. I don't remember anything else.
No.
The only thing I can remember is I swear that those slits for your mouth, and then you'd always want to stick your tongue through it, and then you're like, well, I might slice my tongue open because it was
because it was
sharp plastic.
Those plastic masks would cut your face.
Yes,
literally.
And how did we survive?
Right.
You could just use that as a weapon if someone tried to take you.
And they just slice them with your mask.
Yes, with their
Right. I mean, kids today would not stand for that.
No. And I saw I think it was a meme or something, and it was like a class. It was probably like a school picture in their classroom, and all these kids are literally in a costume like that, like with the mask. And it literally looks like little serial killers.
Oh yeah, those are scary now.
They are.
Now
if
you look at it.
Even to my house, I would shut the door.
I know. Even if they were something cute, I'd be like, "What in the heck?" Where did you get that? I mean, do they sell? I don't think they would sell.
You could probably find that stuff on
eBay.
Yeah,
I remember we kept my Tinkerbell one for a long time, and we kept it in the box. Oh. And I don't know why. I never used it again. I don't think they probably have it anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it was one that kept.
But it was one that I kept.
Yeah. Those were...
I'm sure I was a witch a couple times.
I think I was a witch, too.
I was a Ghostbuster. I wasn't a Ghostbuster. I was the ghost.
Okay.
And I had somebody, I don't know who, I can't remember who, my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, because they were like all for this, most uncomfortable thing ever, because it was a cardboard cutout of the no ghost, So I put my head through, this no ghost.
Yes.
And I always had to take it out when I got in the car. And
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But I do now remember that one.
That one's fun.
Yeah.
If you have a photo of that, you'll have to.
I will, but I don't
it.
remember having a photo.
I'm surprised your parents wouldn't have photographed you in that.
Right? I don't know. Yeah. I don't have very many pictures of me, so I don't know.
Well, second child.
And Halloween. I don't remember them taking, I would take
a picture of you in your Halloween costume.
Right.
Where, now, I feel like you do that.
You do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, with the girls and stuff, I don't know how many. I have pictures all over from Halloween.
Sure.
When they were little and stuff, and when my niece and nephew were little. And,
right.
And now when my granddaughter's little, you know.
Yes.
But, back then, no. I think I can only remember a couple pictures that I have. Of Halloween, yeah,
right. I just think that's so funny because, and I really don't remember that much things. I think I was a witch a lot because that was an easy thing, especially as I got older and I just wanted to really go trick or treating. And I also, do you remember those headband things that were just a plastic, and then it would have the wire and it would have eyes
or something,
and they would light up.
Yep.
I remember doing that and just being some kind of Martian or whatever.
Yeah, a monster or something.
A monster,
like that. I remember getting those eyes and stuff at Worlds of Fun.
Oh.
And I think I just used them as a costume one time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're more and more elaborate and creative.
Creative.
Now. You didn't go to the dime store and get the plastic.
You have
plastic serial killer outfits. You're gonna get blood on yourself.
That's probably why they did it. It was plastic, easy to wash off.
Yes, clean. Just wipe it down. Oh my gosh. I don't ever remember doing Ding Dong Ditch. But was that a thing during Halloween time?
I don't
or was
know.
that just a thing?
I think that was a thing. I did it a few times with some people.
Sure.
But in high school.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I never did it.
You can't do that
no.
now either because we got Ring cameras. So
right.
kids can't even do that. They can try it, but...
if they have a mask on, we wouldn't know who they were, but...
Right.
There was a little boy, speaking of Ring cameras and Halloween, last night, came up to our door. Just a little... Probably 2-3-year-old boy. Yeah. He was with his dad, and he was looking at he went up to the porch and was looking at the ghost.
Oh, cute.
And then he got down, and he went and looked at my jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh.
And he was like, pumpkins, so they were on a walk, and he just saw that.
Wanted to look
and so he wanted to look, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I don't care if you come
Right, they come looking at him.
But when you start stealing my stuff, you better watch it.
You're gonna...
the wrath of Lana will come after you for Halloween.
We'll chase you down the street.
I will chase you down the street.
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween, I love it.
It's coming up.
It is.
And the weather is changing.
It is. The leaves are falling.
Yeah.
I remember we always had to have the yard picked up. On Halloween, we always had to have the leaves picked up so the kids wouldn't, I don't know why, what the deal was.
Right.
Who cares if the kids are walking through the leaves? I didn't understand that. Because my yard's full of leaves and I could care less.
Let them traipse through the leaves.
Go through the leaves, I don't care.
Yeah, because it's not like they're coming into your house.
No, unless there's somebody that I know, and then I'll be like, take your shoes off.
Right. Keep them outside.
Keep them outside, yeah. Keep them outside.
Oh, gosh. Well, this was fun.
It was fun.
I'm loving the ode to 80s and 90s Halloween. Yeah. All that
good
fun
times.
Stuff.
Good times.
Yes. Well, should we end this bonus episode?
Yes.
We should have thought of a fun little
ending.
Yeah. Spooky ending. Spooks and
kooks.
Thanks for joining us for our Halloween episode. If you enjoy listening as much as we love telling you the stories from our childhood, please give us a rating or even a review over on Apple Podcasts. Also, find us on Facebook at Small Town Gen X.